Hello and welcome to Growing Pains, an evening of music, comedy, and drama to benefit the Jeremiah Tree. I'm Lucas. I'll be with you for the next hour and 15 minutes or so as we share a little bit of the coffee shop arts experience. So grab a cup of something warm if you can, and think back to a time when we could gather together freely to share beautiful things with each other, speak truth to each other, and maybe share a laugh. Some of the best experiences of my life have been like that. The Jeremiah Tree is a year-long faith-based residential program in Xenia, Ohio for men who want to break the trap of addiction. At any point this evening, you can visit jeremiahtree.org to learn more about how to support the work of Jeremiah Tree with your time, talent, or treasure. And now we're going to go to Executive Director Jeff Carter, who's going to tell us a little more about Jeremiah Tree and the work that they do.
Hi folks, Jeff Carter here, Executive Director at the Jeremiah Tree Ministries, where we have a couple of recovery houses. And I want to describe to you some of the things that we do here. There's a lot going on here. The other day, I saw some pictures of our residents out back shoveling snow, and they were all working together as a team, something that several months ago, some of them probably couldn't have done. So I saw that and I'm like, wow, there is lots of things that goes on here during the day and evenings and stuff. And what we're here to do is to share the love of Christ, to reflect that through our lives. Most of us that work here, run the place, have been in the position where these guys are coming from now. So we can relate to that. They can relate to us. So the whole program is like a year long. Most guys start out in this house for 6 to 7 months. And then the first part of the program is the tree house. And it's all about changing your attitude, the mind changing that Scripture talks about. And once that, we feel that is complete, the residents can transfer over to the greenhouse, which is our transitional house. Once they do that, they have to, start going to work, paying some shared expenses. And they still take classes. It's still semi-structured, but they have a lot more freedom to move around. The things that they learn over here, first starting out in the program, are various classes that have to do with temptation, anger management, obedience to God, obedience to man. We have a biblical relapse prevention class that one of our teachers teaches. Friday nights, we have a Stepping into Freedom. It's kind of a 12-step biblical look at stepping into freedom, the freedom that Christ allows us to get away from the power of the addiction. So that's kind of what goes on. The guys do a lot of community service. Right now, they're helping one of the local residents here in town kind of refurbish a house. We have another one they're going to be working on. So and the guys all have mentors. So there is a lot that goes on, and it's kind of hard to describe so much of it because there is a lot of stuff that goes on. And we like to keep them busy, keep the guys busy. They do all the cleaning, the cooking, everything that goes on here. So as you're watching the show tonight, please consider what does go on here and how much it takes to run the place. And we would be greatly appreciative if you would help out. Thank you.
To start off this evening's entertainment, I'd like you to welcome, in whatever way you can from where you are, 2 original works performed live: Megan Troyer's 13 Ways of Looking at You and Quick Fix by Nathan Price.
13 Ways of Looking at You is a poem written in imitation of Wallace Stevens' 13 Ways of Looking at a Blackbird. It is written as a letter to a friend who has lived through a lot of darkness. My hope and prayer for her is that she can come from the darkness to find the light of Christ. 13 Ways of Looking at You. 1. In 20 minutes of alleged calm, the only moving thing is your invisible tears. 2. You were of 3 minds, one person calling, aching, hiding. 3. Thought after thought after thought after thought whirls through your mind like winter wind. Yours is the only mind anywhere that whirls, so you say. 4. You and your nightmares are one. I wish you realized you and your nightmares are not one. 5. You did not know what to do, appreciate your adopted family while we had each other, or fear your idea of us leaving, your own friendships, or just after. 6. Steel bars fill your home's windows with inescapable dread. I can see your shadow pacing back and forth inside. Your franticness, triggered by the shadow of your house, evidenced by your ever-moving shadow, the cause too complicated, I can't decipher it. 7. O thin child of hopes, why do you imagine everyone's life but yours golden? Can you not see how pain mars the lives of people around you? 8. You know laughter and friendship, and friends who stay up late to help you study, but you do not know how much I wish I could share your pain in what I know. 9. When you left home, you left what repulsed you for what suffocated you. 10. At the sound of laughter outside in the hallway, you twist in my hammock and yell to stop. 11. You sat on the landing and I held you. Once a fear pierced you in that you knew our shadow would soon disappear. 12. The ice is cracking. What if you drown again? The ice is not cracking because you fear, what if you drown again? 13. It's been evening a long time. You've been sobbing and you can't let anyone see or hear. We plead on your behalf that the numbness might melt into grace.
Hey, I'm in love with that quick fix. I'm in love with that quick fix. So I'll be doing my medicine when I need to go on a diet. Yeah, I'm in love with that quick fix. I'm in love with that quick fix. Got duct tape on my crack dreads. I need a doctor, these beats sick. All my dudes like, I'm in love with that quick fix. All my girls like, I'm in love with that quick fix. All them white folk, I'm in love with that quick fix. All them black folk, I'm in love with that quick fix. They caught me taking candy from a baby. Yeah, right. Y'all probably thinking, dude, this boy is crazy. Games on and a Comic Con is that commentator. Wait, commercialize me for 10 seconds and complicate my life with a new drive. By shooting to buy with money I never had, something I'll never need. Like sneeze, I chop out a chunk of my wallet to trade for trouble or treat. Laughing these gamblers while I master cards for all the same things. Consumed and consuming, I cannot be bothered with planting new seeds. Yeah.
Looking for the easy way out, looking for the easy way down. From off of this wall, off of this high, cause another fall gon' crack me up. And I know that all the king's horses and all the king's men can never put me back together again. No way, and I looking for the easy way in. I try the window but I can't win. And now I'm in a fix, trying to fix myself. Then I heard that the world gon' end. And I heard you was coming with all of your men to put this cold world back together again. Just thought I'd sit and wait it out.
Kill it. Hey, I'm in love with that quick fix. I'm in love with that quick fix. Third time she kissed the right frog, she didn't sign for commitment. Yeah, I'm in love with that quick fix. I'm in love with that quick fix. I'm so high on evangelizing, like ain't no time for discipleship. Welfare instead of well working. shake and bake instead of fried chicken. We'd rather be dabbling in politics than worry much about holy living. Got passionate, path of the path by the truth is the pacify all of them sheep who using they pulpit to blow their own horn like my homegirl Lil Bo Peep. Putting on airs like Abraham, trying to work it out behind the curtain. Then dance in the church next Sunday like, girl, just forgive and forget it. Now Shanae got a baby. Everybody singing the song and sang her. And a lot of folk hoping she choosing life won't give their life to help save her. And I'm tired of the mediocre believers, them divas who smoking weed instead of being on fire for Jesus. Giving them babies them bottles so they grow up, but we never teach them how to feed on the bread that'll keep them breathing. And I can tell you one thing, and I ain't even frontin'. I don't wanna offer God what I got for nothing. They say a time tick is money, it's funny, cause quick fixes really take none of it. It's high time your people broke up with them. Nothing grows in a day. If they know me by my fruit, then I better be learning to wait.
Wait. Looking for the easy way out, looking for the easy way down. From off of this wall, off of this high, cause another fall gon' crack me up. And I know that all the king's horses and all the king's men can never put me back together again. No way, no way. And I'm looking for the easy way in. I try the window but I can't win. And now I'm in a fix trying to fix myself. And I heard that the world gon' win. And I heard you was coming with all of your men to put this cold world back together again. Start up taking and wait it out.
As an actress, our next performer is passionate about making Scripture come alive and helping others see and hear the stories of the Bible in new ways. She's taken the story of Joseph, which spans some of the highest highs and lowest lows, and about 28 chapters of the book of Genesis. She's made some careful selections and arranged them into a performance piece. Please welcome Kristen Kirby.
Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending his father's flocks with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and he brought their father a bad report about them. Now, Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made a richly ornamented robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. When he told it to his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, "What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Now Joseph's brothers had gone to graze their father's flocks near Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, "As you know, your brothers are grazing the flocks near Shechem. Come, I am going to send you to them." "Very well," he replied. So he said to him, "Go and see if all is well with your brothers and with the flocks, and bring word back to me." So Joseph went after his brothers and found them near Dothan. But they saw him in the distance, and before he reached them, they plotted to kill him. "Here comes that dreamer," they said to each other. "Come, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns and say a ferocious animal devoured him. Then we'll see what comes of his dreams." Judah said to his brothers, "What do we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites.
and not lay a hand on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood. His brothers agreed. So when the Midianite merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the cistern and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took him down to Egypt. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt. Potiphar, an Egyptian who was one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard, bought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. So Potiphar left in Joseph's care everything he had. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice of him and said, "Come to bed with me." But he refused. "With me in charge," he told her, "my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns, he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has not withheld anything from me, except you, because you are his wife. How then can I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" And though she spoke to him day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. One day, he went into the house to attend to his duties, and none of the household servants was inside. She caught him by his cloak and said, "Come to bed with me." But he left his cloak in her hands and ran out of the house. When she saw that he had left his cloak in her hands and had run out of the house, she called her household servants. "Look," she said to them, "this Hebrew has been brought to us to make sport of us. He came in here to sleep with me, but I screamed. As soon as he heard me scream for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." She kept his cloak beside him until his master came home. Then she told him this story. "That Hebrew slave you brought us came in here to make sport of me. But as soon as I screamed for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." When his master heard the story, his wife told him, saying, "This is how your slave treated me." He burned with anger. Joseph's master took him and threw him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. When 2 full years had passed, Pharaoh had a dream. In the morning, his mind was troubled, so he called all the magicians and wise men of Egypt. He told them his dream, but no one could interpret it for him. So Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. When he had shaved and changed his clothes, he came before Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I have had a dream, and no one is able to interpret it. But I have heard it said of you that when you hear a dream, you can interpret it." Joseph said to Pharaoh, "I cannot do it, but God will give Pharaoh the answer he desires." Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since the Lord has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you. You shall be in charge of all my palace, and all my people shall submit to your orders. Only in respect to the throne shall I be greater than you." Now Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So Joseph went out from Pharaoh's presence and went throughout Egypt. During those 7 years of abundance, the land produced plentifully. Joseph collected all the food produced in Egypt during those 7 years of abundance in Egypt and stored it in the cities. In each city, he put the food that had been grown in the field surrounding it. Joseph stored so much food that he stopped keeping records because it was beyond measure. When Jacob heard that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why do you just keep looking at each other?" He continued, "I have heard that there is grain down in Egypt. Go down and buy some for us so that we may live and not die." Then 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain from Egypt. Now, while in Egypt, they naturally encounter Pharaoh's second in command, none other than their brother Joseph. They do not recognize Joseph, but Joseph recognizes them and sets about over the next weeks to months to discern whether they have changed. When Joseph is satisfied that his brothers have repented, he reveals himself to them. Then Joseph could no longer control himself before his attendants, and he cried out, "Have everyone leave my presence!" So there was no one with Joseph when he made himself known to his brothers. And he cried so loudly that all the Egyptians heard him, and Pharaoh's household heard about it. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "Is my father still living?" But his brothers were not able to answer him because they were terrified at his presence. Joseph said to his brothers, "Come close to me." When they had done so, he said to them, "I am your brother Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. And now do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. For 2 years now there has been famine in the land, and for the next 5 there will not be plowing and reaping. But God sent me ahead of you to preserve on earth a remnant for you and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So then, it was not you who sent me here, but God. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of lives."
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the best, the premiere, the superlative improv comedy group. Never mind that they're the only one at Cedarville University. It's DTR! So for this sketch, our creative team has put a bunch of hilarious random categories of things into a hat. They've pulled out the best ones, and our performers have to think of as many hilarious things in those categories as they can right off the top of their head. Keep in mind, they've never seen these categories before. Let's see what they came up with.
No matter what you put in it, I don't want to eat any casseroles.
I told my sister a breakfast casserole was not toothpaste and orange juice.
As long as you keep your eye on the side of the road, you can always eat for free.
I just cleaned out my garbage disposal casserole.
Toenails and gout. Going out to eat.
My GPA.
My scholarship.
Short people.
My love life.
Giving strangers the smile in the grocery store.
Fuzzy socks.
Biblical stories.
Chips.
Rice. I'm looking at you, cauliflower.
Straws. Who wants to drink water out of a vegetable?
The soccer player.
The Samson wannabe.
Male pattern balding.
The mullet, too.
The DIY quarantine haircut.
I think we should bring back perms.
My bangs will cure my quarter-life crisis. My bangs will cure my quarter-life crisis.
Why do my joints feel like I'm 60?
It's not a phase, Mom. This is me now.
This is the pain of growing.
It is a phase, Mom. Impermanence does not mean it's not worth something.
My acne has acne.
So what do you think? Should I go for the mullet 2.0 or the Samson wannabe? Just a perm? I don't know. That's not really part of my whole thing. You really think that's going to come back? Lucas, you're on. Oh, sorry. Got to go. We're going to shift the tone a little bit and take a bit more of an introspective approach to the battle with addiction. Please welcome Eric Mishny with his original song, The Devil Inside.
When the big old bully comes round the bend, he's gonna hit me square between the eyes. I'm gonna see him far off coming, but I'll pretend that I don't mind. The big old bully's got me running away from everything I love. He's got me wrapped around his finger, so I pray to my God above. Lord, help me defeat the devil. I can't do this on my own. Lord, help me defeat the devil. The devil that's inside my bones. He teases and taunts me on the playground. I try to stand my ground. There are times I think I'm beaten, but the bell rings for another round. Then Lord, help me defeat the devil. I can't do this on don't know if I'll ever defeat the devil. The bully gets stronger every day. I don't know if I'll ever defeat the devil. Lord, help me find a way. Lord, help me defeat the devil. I can't do this on my own. Lord, help me defeat the devil. The devil that's inside my bones. Lord, help me defeat the devil. Lord, help me defeat the devil. Lord, help me defeat the devil. The devil that's inside my bones.
Just as I am without one plea, but that thy blood was shed for me, and that thou bidst me come to thee, O Lamb of God, I come, I come. Just as I am, and waiting not to rid my soul of one dark blot, to thee whose blood can cleanse each spot, O Lamb of God, I come, I come. Just as I am, though tossed about with many a conflict, many a doubt, fightings and fears within, without, O Lamb of God, I come, I come. Just as I am, thou wilt receive, wilt welcome, pardon, cleanse, relieve, because thy promise I believe, O Lamb of God, I come, I come.
It was 1836, the night before the big event, a charity fundraiser for a Christian school, and Charlotte Elliott couldn't sleep. She was trapped with the thought that no charity she did could ever be enough, and the longer she thought about it, the harder it was to think about anything else, until it wasn't just insomnia, it was a full-on spiritual battle. It's been 200 years and things haven't changed all that much. So she did what she had made a habit of doing. To quote John Brownlee's account, she gathered up in her soul the great certainties, not of her emotions, but of her salvation. And she wrote the poem that would become the hymn, Just As I Am, sung there by my good friends Levi Kirby, Levi Kirby, Levi Kirby, and Levi Kirby. Next, I'd like you to meet Amy Hill. reading from C.S. Lewis's The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. It's a fantastic voyage and a story that begins, there once was a boy called Eustace Clarence Scrubb, and he almost deserved it. On one of the islands they visit on their fantastic journey, Eustace is transformed into a dragon, a condition he didn't ask for and he can't control, and that isolates him from his friends. This is the story of how it ended.
Excerpt from The Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis. Eustace, who in general has been a turd of a boy, has been turned into a dragon for several days. At the start of this section, he reemerges as a boy again and tells his story to Edmund. Well, anyway, I looked up and saw the very last thing I expected. A huge lion coming slowly towards me. And one strange thing was that there was no moon last night, but there was moonlight wherever the lion was. So it came nearer and nearer. I was terribly frightened of it. You may think that, being a dragon, I could have knocked out any lion easily enough, but it wasn't that kind of fear. I wasn't afraid of it eating me. I was just afraid of it, if you can understand. Well, it came close up to me and looked straight into my eyes, and I shut my eyes tight. But that wasn't any good, because it told me to follow it. You mean it spoke? Said Edmund. I don't know. Now that you mention it, I don't think it did. But it told me all the same, and I knew I'd have to do what it told me. So I got up and followed it. And it led me a long way into the mountains, and there was always this moonlight over and around the lion wherever we went. So at last, we came to the top of a mountain I'd never seen before, and on top of this mountain, there was a garden. Trees and fruit and everything. In the middle of it, there was a well. I knew it was a well because you could see the water bubbling up from the bottom of it. But it was a lot bigger than most wells, like a very big round bath with marble steps going into it. The water was as clear as anything, and I thought if I could get in there and bathe, it would ease the pain in my leg. But the lion told me I must undress first. Mind you, I don't know if he said any words out loud or not. I was just going to say that I couldn't undress because I hadn't any clothes on, when suddenly I thought that dragons are snaky sorts of things, and snakes can cast their skins. Oh, of course, thought I. That's what the lion means. So I started scratching myself, and my scales began coming off all over the place. And then I scratched a little deeper, and instead of just scales coming off, my whole skin started peeling off, beautifully, like it does after an illness, or as if I was a banana. In a minute or two, I just stepped out of it. I could see it lying there beside me, looking rather nasty. It was a most lovely feeling. So I started to go down into the well for my bath. But just as I was going to put my feet into the water, I looked down and saw that they were all hard and rough and wrinkled and scaly just as they had been before. Oh, that's all right, said I. It only means I had another smaller suit on underneath the first one, and I'll have to get out of it too. So I scratched and tore again, and this underskin peeled off beautifully, and I stepped out of it and laid it beside the other one and went down to the well for my bath. Well, exactly the same thing happened again. And I thought to myself, oh dear, However many skins have I got to take off? For I was longing to bathe my leg. So I scratched away for the third time and got off a third skin, just like the other two, and stepped out of it. But as soon as I looked at myself in the water, I knew it had been no good. Then the lion said, but I don't know if it spoke, "You will have to let me undress you." I was afraid of his claws, I can tell you. But I was pretty desperate now. So I just lay down on my back and let him do it. The very first tear he made was so deep, I thought it had gone right into my heart. And when he began pulling the skin off, it hurt worse than anything I had ever felt. The only thing that made me able to bear it was just the pleasure of feeling the stuff peel off, you know? If you've ever picked the scab off of a sore place, it hurts like Billy. Oh, but it is such fun to see it coming away. I know exactly what you mean, said Edmund. Well, he peeled the beastly stuff right off, just as I thought I had done the other 3 times, only they hadn't hurt. And there it was, lying on the grass, only ever so much thicker and darker and more knobbly than the others had been. And there was I, as smooth and soft as a peeled switch, and smaller than I had been. Then he caught hold of me. I didn't like that much, for I was very tender underneath now that I'd no skin on, and threw me into the water. It smarted like anything, but only for a moment. After that, it became perfectly delicious, and as soon as I started swimming and splashing, I found that all the pain had gone from my arm. And then I saw why. I turned into a boy again. After a bit, the lion took me out and dressed me. Dressed you? With his paws? Well, I don't exactly remember that bit. But he did somehow or other, in new clothes. The same I've got on right now, as a matter of fact. And then suddenly, I was back here. Which is what makes me think it must have been a dream. No, it wasn't a dream, said Edmund. Why not? Well, there are the clothes for one thing, and you have been, well, undragoned for another. What do you think it was then? Asked Eustace. I think you've seen Aslan.
Welcome back. You might not know this, but Levi is actually behind the camera right now, and I just want to take a second, if you'll indulge me, to give Levi a sense of what it's like to be his friend, because I'll be just, going about my daily business, and I'll get a text. Oh, it's a text from my good friend Levi. What does he have to say? It must be important. It says, "How do you defeat France in a war?" I don't know, you're working on an essay or something? You have to apply just the right amount of Prussia. Levi, I don't know stuff about history. And then he'll text me again. He'll say, "What is a plate's favorite thing to do with a gossip?" Dish. Or here's my personal favorite. What's mightier than the swordfish? The pig pen. These are your fault. You're responsible for these. And it's not enough that you got to swan into my life and stink up the place with your dad jokes. No, you got to go and find the fastest quip in the West and see who breaks first. And we got it on tape. Now, something important to keep in mind, the jokes that you're about to hear were chosen by the wives of these two dads. Neither dad had seen them before. And the dad who laughs the most loses. Place your bets now, people.
You go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Go first. I'm already smiling. I haven't even looked at the paper.
That's right.
Yet. All right. I can do this. I found a wooden shoe in my toilet today. This is not a joke about kids.
Okay.
It was clogged. That's it. That's the joke. Sorry, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
go for it. All right, I'm ready.
I don't know why you would think that's funny, Nat. Here we go. Why are elevator jokes so classic and good? They work on many levels.
I see what you did there. Kind of like elevator music.
Yeah, it's good.
You do this. Humans are born with 4 kidneys.
Okay.
Sounds like a joke I would tell. Humans are born with 4 kidneys. But when they grow up, 2 of those become adult knees.
Okay.
That's one. All right. Go ahead.
All right. When I was a kid, my mother told me I could be anyone I wanted to be. Turns out, identity theft is a crime.
It's a very serious crime. It's a federal crime. Anyone who's watching, federal crime. Yes.
Jim from The Office knows that.
Jim from The Office knows that. Lance is an uncommon name nowadays, but in medieval times, people were called Lancelot. They were called Lance.
Yeah.
A lot.
That's
not
that's
like
good.
a few, just
That's-
a lot of
That's
times.
good.
Okay, yeah.
I like medieval jokes.
Yeah.
2 goldfish are in a tank. One says to the other, "Do you know how to drive this thing?"
Just take a deep breath.
No, that's definitely one. It's 1
let's
to 2.
take it.
folks. It's 1 to 2. There it is. There it is. Oh, that's
All
good.
right, I'll just steer into
good.
that one. What do you call a hippie's wife? With like dreadlocks and
Yeah. I'm going with Jane Fonda.
Mississippi.
Oh,
Mrs.
that's good, Mrs. Hippie.
Mississippi, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Did you know? I gotta tell you something. I invented a new word today.
The more you know. What?
I invented a new word today.
And a new word, a whole new word.
A whole new word.
Never said it
Yeah.
before. What?
You want to hear what it is? Plagiarism.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's real funny.
That's good. I
That's
mean,
funny,
that deserves just a
'cause
little chuckle.
No,
right?
because you stole the word.
Yeah.
That's
right.
A cheese factory exploded in France.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's in France. Debris is everywhere.
Yeah, it would be in France. It's a very good cheese. St. Francis.
Hold on, you just told one.
Did I?
Yeah. About no, I didn't.
No,
It was
you
about
just
food.
told
I'm
one. It was
sorry.
about the cheese.
It was so good, I thought you
Come on,
told
man.
it. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a good joke.
It was gooder than yours.
Yeah. St. Francis worked at Krispy Kreme.
Of Assisi?
Yeah, St. Francis of Assisi.
Okay, yeah, I know him.
Yeah. He worked at Krispy Kreme. You know what job he had?
Preaching to the donuts.
He was the deep fryer.
Deep.
Oh. Yes, he was the deep fryer.
I'm medieval and this is deep.
Yes, yeah.
I know Assisi. He's good. So I'm starting a new dating service in Prague.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a chess based dating service.
Yeah.
You've been playing some chess. You know how this works.
Yeah.
Not the dating part. You're married.
Right.
Obviously, both married. We don't.
Yeah.
we
I don't
date
really
we
know.
Date our wives.
I still don't
It's
know
called
how dating
checkmate.
works. It's called checkmate. Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
Prague.
good. Yeah.
Bonus points to the audience if you know where Prague is.
Yes.
In the Czech Republic.
Yes. Shout out to you, Zach Herod, if you're watching. Okay. Here.
Yeah.
I have a great joke about nepotism, but I'll only tell it to my kids.
There are
Come on,
countries in the world.
I'm about to laugh at that.
You're about to laugh at that.
I'm
Go
about
ahead.
to laugh at that.
Go
one.
ahead.
That was good.
Just do it. Just do it. You'll
was
only
good.
tell it to your kids. What about your brothers and sisters? You gotta have a broad view of nepotism if you're gonna go nepotism. Don't go back. All right. Some people can't distinguish between etymology and entomology, the study of ents.
That's not what it is. That's what I wish entomology
Those people
was.
bug me in ways I cannot put into words.
Yeah, I've heard that one. I love it. Yeah, that's good. I want to go on record that I support farming. As a matter of fact, you could call me protractor.
Okay, so I get that it's fun, but like, there's nothing in it about angles. Like I would have expected something about.
It's true. It could have. They could have worked in a little math joke in there.
Yeah, math joke. I laugh at
protractor.
Math jokes. Protractor.
I could put that on a bumper sticker. You know.
Maybe you could say
protractor.
I have a pro farming angle, or I'm my angle is that I'm in favor of farming. I'm a protractor.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
All right. I got one more.
Okay.
What is it called when Batman, the Batman, skips out on church?
Sunday.
Christian Bale.
All right.
We going into extra in. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You have one more.
I got one more.
Go ahead.
One more.
Yeah.
Let's see. We all know about Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. But have you heard about Cole's Law?
It's always on sale.
It's thinly sliced cabbage. Come on. You gotta look at me. You can't close your eyes. There it is.
Okay, that was pretty good.
It's thinly sliced cabbage. Coleslaw.
Coleslaw.
Oh man. Oh, that's.
I genuinely, when I was a kid, thought it was cold slaw.
Yeah. Same. Okay.
My wife is really mad that I have no sense of directions. I packed up my stuff and write. Is that a joke? Did you write this? I don't get it. I packed.
Read it again.
Hold on. My wife is really mad that I have no sense of direction. I packed up my stuff and write. Oh, I get it. I get it. You can't even leave correctly because instead of I left, it's I right. That's funny.
Oh, that one was good.
That was a slow burn. See, that's how jokes should be. That's how jokes should be. Well, yeah, it's been a good game.
That's been good. Yeah. I think maybe Nat pulled that one out. We'll have to go back to.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and let the referees review the footage on the instant replay.
That's right. But this has been really fun.
Yeah, thank you for coming. And support the Jeremiah Tree.
That's right.
I think it's important that the Jeremiah Tree calls it the trap of addiction. Even if you haven't been in that situation exactly, you've definitely been somewhere you would rather not be, longed for a better place or a better time. And that longing is old, very old. So I wanted to share this song from an older time about what it's like to look for something different.
Oh, 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 I am a poor wayfaring stranger, just traveling through this world of woe. Yet there is no sickness, toil, or danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my Father. I'm going there no more only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. Hey, 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 yeah. 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 Ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, gonna rise up out of the ground. Ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. And I'm going there to see my father. I'm going there, no more to roam. And I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. I am a poor wayfaring stranger, just traveling through this world of woe. Yet there is no sickness, toil or danger in that bright land to which I go.
We're about to welcome back DTR, the improv team, and before they did the following sketch, our creative team just wrote out a bunch of random lines of dialogue. Could be anything. And they put them on little slips of paper. You'll see those on the bottom of the screen on the table. And they gave the performers the prompt, a parent teaching a child to garden. So our performers have to come up with a whole scene just from that prompt and then periodically pull one of those lines off the table. They've never seen it before, but no matter what that line says, they must use it in the scene.
All right, so first you're gonna take this flower pot right there. We're gonna get some dirt, we're gonna fill it up, and then we're gonna plant some stuff in it. Now the first thing you always wanna remember, have you ever had a peppermint mocha frappuccino? Because we're gonna take those and we're gonna pour it in as fertilizer. Got it? All right.
Starbucks seems a bit expensive for this.
Well, you know, yeah, honestly, I don't know who came up with these rules, but it's just what my parents taught me, so I'm teaching you, so we're just gonna roll with it.
Okay.
I've got another case of them right here, so just keep pouring them in. I'll get the seeds.
You know, when I bought these, the lady at the coffee shop, she said, Dora the Explorer taught me nothing. And I was like, same, but...
I know, right? Like, I watched that show so much as a kid, thinking I would become the greatest gardener the world has ever seen, and instead, here I am working IT. Mm-hmm. All right, so here we've got some pineapple seeds, we have eggs, and we have...
Eggs. Why do you have eggs?
We're planting, we're gardening. We're gonna
Is
grow... Yeah.
Is that where chickens?
Yes, this is where chickens come from. You put an egg, you plant it in, you bury it up, and then soon enough, a little tree will come up, and there'll be chickens. And those chickens, well, welcome to the apocalypse. Because we are going to use these chickens, and we are going to take over the world and turn the entire world into one massive garden. Because if I can't garden, I need to show the world exactly how to do it.
Can I be your evil chicken henchman?
Of course you can be my evil chicken henchman.
Because I've always wanted, like, you know, I want my own catchphrase, and it's going to be, let's go apple bobbing. I don't even know who Bob is.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to need a lot of apples, a lot of chickens, and a lot of bobs. But, you know, this is going to be worth it. I will, right after we finish planting these eggs, I'll go to the store, I'll buy apple seeds and bob seeds. Yeah. The other thing, caterpillars are fuzzy. They are going to be our main threat when it comes to the apocalypse garden.
Do we plant them too?
That is a genius idea. I was going to say we just get rid of them, but if we plant them, then we can get even bigger caterpillars and use those caterpillars to fuzz up the other caterpillar. This idea is crazy, but I've got a better one. Rita Hayworth. Yes, Rita Hayworth.
What's a Hayworth? And I don't know how to read.
Oh, that's fine. My parents never taught me, so I never taught you.
I know. Whenever I'm reading a book, I just like reading a book. I always just like pretend I know what it's saying, but I'm just like saying dad jokes are bad jokes unless you're a dad. Which is really true.
Yeah, I've said like you're not allowed to make dad jokes. I am the only joke here.
It's true.
So we've got the eggs, we've got the caterpillars, we've got the bobs, we've got the apples. Actually, what we need is more flower pots because honestly, I only bought one. I didn't think we'd get this far. Does anyone have a spare heater? Because once the winter comes, we're not going to be able to keep these plants alive in order to take over the apocalypse. We're taking over the apocalypse, not just the world. So I've got a spare one right here. We're going to plug it in. All right. We're going to keep this entire section warm. This is just actually a fairly small greenhouse. I kind of expected a bigger one when I ordered this greenhouse, but you know what? You go with what you get.
Well,
Yep.
You know, when FedEx showed up with the greenhouse, I was like, that looks a little small, but the guy was like, dirty diapers smell good. And so I thought he was just insane, and I was
well,
like,
that greenhouse brand, Dirty Diapers, like honestly, their greenhouses, they do smell amazing, but I don't know why they named their brand Dirty Diapers. It seems a little counterintuitive to me, but you know what? Hey, I'm not marketing. I'm an IT man trying to take over the apocalypse. So now that we've got everything planted, mostly everything planted, the next step, I really love kumquat. We're going to only eat kumquat because that is the only food that we're able to grow that won't be involved in the apocalypse somehow. So we're going to survive.
Is that what the chickens eat?
Yes, that is what the chickens
Perfect.
eat. We'll have all the food, kumquat, chickens, bob, apples. We even have a space heater. We have one flower pot, but that's all we need. We have eggs. I think we can do this.
I think we're ready to take over the world.
I think we're ready to take over the world.
It's a deal.
It's a deal.
We've talked about the work of the Jeremiah Tree in general terms, but there's no better way to get to know that work than in person. So I'd like you to meet Jesse. He's about halfway through the Jeremiah Tree program, and this is his story.
Hi, my name is Jesse. I've been a resident here in the Jeremiah Tree for a little over 5 months now. I am a recovering addict. I was born in San Diego in a high violent crime area, lots of drugs, lots of bad things going on. I was taught to, move around. We got moved around as a kid a lot, and doing so, as I grew older and I was moving around, I was doing it just to get away from problems, learning that it was okay to just run. I started experimenting with drugs at a very young age, and I didn't realize, you can keep running, but stuff's gonna keep catching up with you. And at one point, I started hitchhiking from California to Florida, and I got in trouble again. And it's when it started to sink in. I picked up a Bible in jail, and I started reading the Word, and it just started clicking with me, and I started getting really into it. And I kept on with my travels, and I was still doing the evil things, the sinful things that I was doing, but I was learning while I was doing it. And I made it to New York, and I decided to come back down through Ohio where I have family, and I ended up getting in a little bit of trouble just for walking down the highway. And they picked me up on some old charges, and it brought me here to the Jeremiah Tree, where I've been the resident for the last 5 months. I've learned a lot of different things here. It's been great. The people are awesome. I've learned patience. I've learned self-control. I've learned how to handle myself in certain situations. And I'm still learning. And it's awesome because I get time to read my Word every day. I get time to do things that I wouldn't have time to do out there. And there's nothing getting in the way of it. I can continue to grow in Christ. I can continue to educate myself and learn how to live a life that's going to be meaningful in the long run. I'm grateful now that I came back through Ohio and I was put back in this situation. If I wasn't here right now, I would probably be out in the streets doing things that I don't need to be doing. But with Christ, all things are possible. And he brought me here and he showed me the path that he wants me to walk on. And I'm walking it. It is awesome. And I'm excited because I know I have a future now. I know that I can keep this and walk this path and it'll take me and open so many different doors for me. I know when, somebody's knocking at the door, you got to answer it eventually. And it took me a long time to answer that door for Christ. But when I answered it, it's led me to so many different things that I can't explain. I quit smoking after 27 years. I don't have a need for it. I don't have a want for it. I keep myself busy in the Word, reading, learning, and not just knowing now, but I'm putting into use of the words of Scripture, how to walk in them and use them. And it's just helping me be a better person, and I'm totally enjoying it. I'm not worrying about different situations that I would be worrying on the street. I'm not chasing after things. I'm having fun with it. And it's only possible because of the past life that I had walked in brought me here. And I don't know what I would do if I was still out there.
Do you guys remember Michelangelo?
The Ninja Turtle?
No, not the Ninja Turtle, the Renaissance sculptor. He is quoted as saying, "The sculpture is already within the stone. You just have to cut away the rest." See, Michelangelo was so skilled as a sculptor that he could perfectly visualize what he wanted to create, and so practiced as a stonemason that he could cut to it exactly. Caleb and Nat are going to show you what it might look like if you could see God cutting away the excess from the lives of his disciples to reveal the original masterpiece already within. This is God's chisel.
Ephesians 2:10 says that we are God's workmanship. In essence, his masterpiece. Now, I don't know about you, but when I get up in the morning and look in the mirror, I don't see a masterpiece. Maybe a Picasso. But I want to be a masterpiece. I want to be everything that God has created me to be. And so I go to him and I say, God, do whatever it takes to get things out of my life that don't need to be there. Mold me into the image of your Son so that I can be your masterpiece.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm God.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. You said the prayer. Here I am. That's how it works.
Okay. If you're God, then make it snow in here.
If I made it snow in here, it would get kind of yucky. I don't want to do that.
See, you're not God.
I am God.
God would not say yucky.
I say yucky. It's a Greek word.
Oh, okay. If you're God, then what does Lamentations 15:9 say?
Lamentations is a very short book. 5 chapters.
Oh, why was it so short?
I was done lamenting.
Oh. Okay, if you're God, then who's going to win the World Series this year?
You really like playing... I don't like playing games so much. Why do you like playing games?
You are God.
You guessed.
You answered my question with another question.
Ah, yes. I do that. Don't I? Yeah, so step right up. Here we go.
Okay. What's this about?
These are the tools that I am going to use to make you into my original masterpiece.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on. I thought you were a carpenter.
That's my son. Ready? Here we go.
Hey, guy. How do you know what to chisel away and what to leave?
I am going to take every part of you that is not of me and chisel it away and take it away. Okay. Kind of like taking away the dead weight.
Okay.
Oh, you have a lot of anger. And some pride. And you compare yourself to people who are not me. And you're lazy. You pretend you're really busy. And you have you have a problem with lust.
Oh, hang on. I do not have a problem with lust.
You don't have a problem with lust?
Okay.
All right.
Hang on. I'm thinking maybe we can take a time out. Like, we're doing pretty good.
Yes. You are doing good, but look in the mirror. Okay. Who do you see?
I see me.
Yeah, that's right. But what you ultimately need, what you and everybody else need to see is me.
Don't take this the wrong way, but when I start to look more like you, other people get uncomfortable around me. Even my friends at church are all like, oh, you're all holier than thou. Why won't you do that?
What you're doing right now is that you're trying to play God over certain parts of your life instead of letting me be God over all of your life.
I did not say that.
That's what you meant.
Yes, it is. Okay, look, it's hard to talk to you. You know everything that I'm thinking. I mean, I think you're doing pretty good work. Maybe we could just take a little break, a little time out. We'll come back to it.
What you're doing right now is common. It's called controlling, but controlling is not chiseling. What do you want to do? Do you want to control, chisel, control, chisel?
No, chisel.
Chisel it is. You've been holding on to this for a long time.
It hurts.
Yes, it hurts.
I don't think you understand this pain.
Don't talk to me about pain. I know all about pain. I sent my son to die for sin and for pain. And I did that so that you could have freedom. You know what insanity is, right? It's doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And there's things in your life that you've been doing even since high school that are just not working.
Okay, now, listen, I'm thinking that maybe if
your thoughts are not my thoughts.
Okay, but maybe if we went another way.
Your ways are not my ways.
Okay, listen, I can't be good.
You can't be good? I made you good. You are good. Be good. What?
Yeah, nothing. You wouldn't understand.
I, the God of the universe, wouldn't understand something one of my children wants to tell me? Give me a try.
It's just... God, I've let you down so many times.
You were never holding me up. I hold you up. With my righteous, victorious right hand. Never forget that. In this relationship, I hold you up.
Okay. Chisel away. Just be prepared for what you're going to find in there. Because I know who's inside there. And because God, I get up every morning and I look in the mirror and it's this scared little kid who gets up every day and tries to dress like an adult and act like an adult, but can't. So just be prepared for what you're going to find in there.
I wish there was some way I could show you that my love for you has no boundaries. I got it. Look in your back pocket.
What?
Look in your back pocket.
Why?
You arguing with me? Look in your back pocket.
This is a page from my journal when I was younger. How did you get this?
Hello.
Yeah.
Go ahead, read it.
I love Angie Harmon.
Other side.
Oh, sorry. Dear God, today I am turning everything over to you. I'm not going to hold on to anything anymore. Your word says that you will make me your masterpiece and use me to do great things. I don't see how that's possible, but I want that with all that I am. So please, do whatever it takes to make me what you want. I love you, God.
I love you too, Tommy. I love you too much to let you stay where you are. And this salvation that you hold, I don't want it to be some emotional gush or some head knowledge. I want you to work out every detail of your life. And I don't want you to compare yourself to other people. No. You are my original masterpiece, and in you I find favor. And don't look at these as some kind of prison. Look at it as a father disciplining his children. A father disciplines the one he loves.
I know, but it's gonna be tough.
Yes, it'll be tough. You bought into the lie that everything would be easy once you said yes to me. And that's not how it works. I know. Do something for me. Look out there and say, Tommy is God's original masterpiece.
Tommy.
No. Not the way you see yourself. Not the way you fear others see you. The way I see you. Go ahead.
Tommy is God's original masterpiece.
Yes, you are.
Thank you for joining us for Growing Pains, a night of art and entertainment for a good cause. Your ticket goes directly to support the work of the Jeremiah Tree as they help the men of Greene County overcome the trap of addiction. If you want to go deeper with the Jeremiah Tree, they offer a lot of ways to get involved by donating your time, talent, and treasure. Volunteers have the opportunity to provide transportation, to teach classes, and to be a part of the work crews who maintain the Jeremiah Tree's houses in Xenia, Ohio. You can also donate a portion of your purchases through Kroger Rewards or Amazon Smile, or donate directly at jeremiahtree.org. Special thanks to all of our performers this evening: Megan Troyer, Nathan Price, Kristen Kirby, Eric Mishney, Levi Kirby, Amy Hill, Caleb Kirby, Nat Biggs, and the entire cast of DTR. We'd also like to thank the Skit guys for giving us permission to use God's chisel in this show. Thank you guys very much. I'm Lucas Zellers, and from all of us on the creative team and the staff at the Jeremiah Tree, thank you and good night.